Folks, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate all of you that have been sharing my videos and for your support. Thank you so very much. I wanted to cover these reports of drones being flown over the east coast of the United States. Most recently, there was reports of dozens of drones that trailed a U.S. Coast Guard vessel off of New Jersey. In my opinion, the government, military, DOD, the Pentagon, they all know exactly what these drones are. With the images, so many images that people have sent in to social media, probably to the police, Pentagon, DOD, they know exactly what type of drones they are. Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey expressed concerns that the drones could be operated by a foreign power. I think they are. That's my opinion. Look what happened with the balloons. They sailed all the way across from the west coast of the United States until they were shot down over the waters off the east coast. Those balloons actually flew over military installations, gathering God knows what kind of information. Recently, more than a dozen drones followed a 47-foot Coast Guard boat Sunday night, while law enforcement tracked another 50 drones coming onto land from the ocean at Island Beach State Park, Representative Chris Smith said. Smith said he spent Monday night on the beach in Ocean County and spoke to several people, including a U.S. Coast Guard commanding officer stationed in Barnegat Light. Smith learned that the Coast Guard commander that the night before one of their 47-foot vessel boats was trailed very closely by more than a dozen of these drones. Now, to me, it is very, very not just suspicious, provocative, and this could be a foreign power, whether it be Putin or it could be Xi Jinping in China or the Middle East. We can't rule out any of that, the congressman said. While no immediate threats or disruptions to operations were identified, the Coast Guard is assisting the FBI and state agencies to understand the type, origin, and intent of these aircraft and to address potential risks to safety and security, the spokesperson said. We take any and all aircraft activity near federal assets seriously and urge the public to report any suspicious activity to local authorities. I mean, how dumb can the government be? These are reconnaissance missions for a potential future attack, for a future war. Yeah, they're gathering as much information that they can. Reports of the large drones flying over different parts of the Garden State, including President-elect Trump's Bedminster Golf Course and near military research sites, have been on the rise in recent weeks. I've done a lot of research this morning and found out that radar detection is not possible using standard aircraft detection radar systems, specifically the 360-degree continuous coverage radar that is able to identify very small and slow-moving objects such as UAVs, and using advanced signal processing techniques can differentiate between birds and UAVs. So yeah, when they're asking radar control towers at airports, are they picking anything up? Well, they can't do it. So the question about why are they not bringing these drones down, well, there's the threat of an explosion if one did crash and the loss of life. There is different types of UAV countermeasures. There are many documented methods to disable, disrupt, or hijack UAVs, ranging from physical to digital attacks, using some form of ballistic, disabling of a UAV using projectiles such as paintballs, a shotgun, a catapult, and what they call net guns. The U.S. government, we know, has high-powered laser weapons. High-powered lasers can melt a UAV component. You know, we do have jamming methods. Multiple methods available to jam directional instructions or positional data being received by the UAV. Most jamming devices have a limited range under 30 meters. However, military equipment is capable of jamming large areas of RF, 3G and 4G, Wi-Fi and GPS, for example. In 2012, North Korea interfered with the GPS reception. They have a thing called microwave cannon. It produces a focused beam of energy designed to disrupt or destroy internal components. Sound. Now, sound is being used for a lot of different things. The use of certain frequencies of sound to disrupt the internal workings of a UAV can also be used. Animals can be used. UAVs have been targeted by birds of prey, like a falcon, though it is understood that birds in question was operating under its own agenda opposed to acting on behalf of a handler. Predator UAVs, specifically designed UAVs, which interfere with the Wi-Fi communications, launch carry nets, or use kamikaze tactics to disable other UAVs by crashing into them. Low-tech type of disabling UAVs is water. The U.S. Fire Department has reportedly used hoses on UAVs that have been flying around incidents they have attended. Then there's hijacking drones. Wi-Fi hijacking has proven successful through the use of de-authentication attacks, which break to communications between the UAV and the controller and establishes a new connection with the attacker. Many of the low-end toy UAVs have no security on the Wi-Fi connection, and consequently, any client can connect to the UAV. Skyjack is a program which detects Patriot AR UAVs, deactivates any clients connected to the UAV, and then connects to the now free Patriot AR UAV as its owner. The ECU Security Research Institute performed similar tests on a Patriot AR UAV. More recently, a new attack has been particularly documented. This involved remotely installing malware on a flying UAV and hijacking the operations. It appears that the Skyjack type program is used to connect to the UAV, and the controlling flight program is killed and replaced with the malware. They also could disrupt the controls, communication between a UAV controller and a satellite has been hijacked using Skygrabber. In 2009, Iraqi insurgents reportedly used this software to downloaded feeds from the U.S. UAV. And then there's also the technique of spoofing. RF or GPS spoofing techniques can be used to relay false information to a UAV. In December of 2011, Iran claimed to have obtained a U.S. UAV by disrupting satellite communication and transmitted false GPS data to get the UAV to land in Iran. So with so many sightings, almost every night I think it is, they can't say they can't bring one of these down safely. Yeah, so why is the government allowing, who is it, China, Iran, some other, maybe Russia, some other government, deliberately being allowed to gather intelligence information over the U.S. East Coast? These things are evidently up there for hours flying around. Recently, the University of Texas conducted a GPS spoofing attack on a UAV. This was on a forum of a distance of 600 meters. Alvaro Rees reverse engineered a Proto-X UAV and its RF communication protocols. He designed a program which would scan all channels until it found the transmission of the Proto-X UAV. From that point, the program was able to extract the device ID and inject malicious commands. Representative Jeff Van Drew, a Republican from New Jersey, said Wednesday that very qualified and reliable sources believe that the mystery drones flying over New Jersey are originating from what they're calling a mothership of Iranian type vessel, and that it's parked off the U.S. East Coast. Many of you that do follow maybe Flight Radar 24 or other channels would have noticed that the reconnaissance planes have been flying over this area and down by Florida. Currently they have refuelers. We don't see any aircraft, any fighter jets, but two different refuelers would mean that they are refueling different types of military aircraft right off the coast of New Jersey. So we definitely got something surveying this area off the U.S. East Coast. There is also a Boeing KC-46A Pegasus. This is also another refueling aircraft off the East Coast. Looks like it just left down there by Goldsboro. We also have Lockheed Martin Coast Guard. Looks like it turned off its transponder for a little bit. Yeah, and that's off of what, Moorhead it shows. Oh, and it just turned off its tracking. I don't know why. Anyways, we got South Carolina and North Carolina. That's where it was at. Van Drew said that I'm on the Transportation Committee on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know these people. And from the very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off the east coast of the United States of America. Yeah, they're being all tight-lipped about what is really going on. There was such an uproar about the Chinese balloons being allowed to fly. They were allowed to fly over the U.S., and they don't want an uproar again. So they're claiming that the mystery of the unidentified drones has deepened. On Tuesday, I believe it was, federal officials admitted during a congressional hearing that despite requests and assurance from Governor Murphy and other public officials, they can't say definitely whether the drones pose a threat. The lawmakers later said that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, the mothership, and technology. Well, the mothership is actually a cargo vessel, some kind of cargo ship that they retrofitted. These drones should be shot down, Van Drew said, whether it's some sort of crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine, or whether it's Iran. And I think it's very possibly could be. They should be shot down, and we're not getting the full deal. The military is on alert with this. Yeah, right. They're watching it. They can bring them down by taking control of the drones, safely land them. Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh said during a press briefing on yesterday, there is no evidence that the mysterious drones spotted over New Jersey residential neighborhoods and military bases come from a foreign adversary. Yeah, if you believe that, we can always buy some swampland by the inch, I suppose. Singh also said that the drones pose no threat to the U.S. military installations. How many times has the U.S. government received warnings that foreign governments were up to something? I think more recently, December 7th, Pearl Harbor. 9/11, well, there's a lot of talk that 9/11 was actually created or caused by our own government. But even so, they had all kinds of information that foreign governments, a terrorist organization supposedly, was up to something, and they didn't do anything about it. When asked about Van Drew's comments, Singh said that there was not any truth to his claims. Even the Pentagon on Wednesday shot down a statement by New Jersey Congressman that there is an Iranian mothership off the coast of the United States launching drone incursions. Now we got the U.S. Coast Guard confirming that there was the incident on Sunday with these drones. They know the difference between drones or, say, a UFO or a flock of birds. You know, they're well trained, the Coast Guard. A container ship that Iran had spent the past few years turning into a militarized drone carrier left its port about a month ago, or maybe more than a month ago. And there was satellite imagery obtained by Business Insider of those satellite images. In an image captured on November 12th by Black Sky, which provides space-based real-time intelligence, the new Shahid Bagheri can be seen at an Iranian shipyard along the Persian Gulf. There was also an image captured a little more than 2 weeks later on November 28th, showing the Bagheri missing from its berth at the Iran shipyard, an offshore complex just west of the southern port of Bandar Abbas. At nearly 790 feet long, the Bagheri somewhat represents a Soviet aircraft carrier with a distinct ski jump ramp that was added in 2023. The ship's angled flight deck, used for launching and recovering drones, measures just under 600 feet. It's unclear what type of drones or how many may be included in the Bagheri Future Carrier Air Wing, in addition to reconnaissance and strike platforms that can return to after their missions are complete. Boy, I tell you, my dyslexic is really acting up today. The Bagheri isn't the only container ship that the Iranians have turned into a military vessel. Last year, the IRGCN commissioned the Shahid Bagheri, a modified expeditionary, that's the word I was going to have problems with, sea base that was formerly known as the Sharvin. This vessel can carry helicopters, drones, special forces units, and missiles. That's probably the one that's off the east coast of the U.S. So I was wondering why all the information gathering off the east coast. Well, there has been information gathering off the Pacific coast. Among the newly released reports, there is one that covers a worrying encounter that the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, the USS Paul Hamilton, had with 4 drones in the Pacific off the coast of Southern California in 2019. The incident involved the USS Paul Hamilton on the night of July 30th and 31st of 2019 was included among the recently released reports. This one was a series of drone swarms encounters that the crew of the multiple Navy vessels reported while operating in the vicinity of California's Channel Islands off the coast of San Diego that year. The USS Paul Hamilton observed 4 UAVs with a CPA, close point of approach, approximately 200 yards off the bow and the port and the starboard beams. The UAVs had an on-station time of approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes. The first UASs was spotted by Outlook at 0240L, observed with a single long white light off the port bow. A second UAS was observed flashing the bow and the bridge of the PHM with what appeared to be a searchlight or photographic device. The UASs close to within 500 yards of the aircraft carrier repeatedly maneuvered aft to FWD. Another UAS hovered with no lights approximately 300 to 500 yards off the bow of the PHM, and then appeared to be using a searchlight or a photographic device to photograph from the front of the boat to the back of the U.S. military craft. The UASs were observed visually with optical sighting systems and night vision goggles. 3 of the UASs were identified visually as quadcopters. Now, these recent sightings off of New Jersey, though denied, NORCOM and the Pentagon and government officials have denied that the Iranian Mothership is off the coast. NORCOM is still taking reports about the drones flying over New Jersey seriously. They said, "We are aware and monitoring the reports of unauthorized drone flights in the vicinity of military installations in New Jersey, including Pinckney Arsenal and Naval Weapons Station." Earl, the commander, said it deferred comments about what actions are being taken in response to those installations, and of course they're not talking either. Other than saying that the Naval Weapons Station, Earl confirmed that there was at least one incident of an unidentified drone entering the airspace above the Naval Weapons Station, Earl. Facility spokesman William Addison said that there was no specific on when the incursion happened, what type of drone it was, or how the base responded. The facility, located in Colts Neck, New Jersey, about 20 miles south of New York City, is aware of the reports of increased drone activity in New Jersey and Monmouth County, and we are actively monitoring the situation, Addison added. "We have received reports from our neighboring communities and law enforcement partners regarding drone activity near the installation." In addition to the 2 military installations, authorities say spotting of drones above critical infrastructure, including reservoirs, electrical transmission lines, rail stations, and police departments, have occurred. Yeah, and let's not forget about the homes of FBI agents. New Jersey State Senator Douglas Steinhardt says drones likely are coming from the Atlantic Ocean. He said the best information that we have available to us to this point suggests that these drones are coming from offshore. When we try to make contact with them, they become evasive and elusive. Well, they're not trying, I don't think, at all. In a letter to the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Smith called for military help dealing with the drones, noting that Joint Base McGuire-Dick Lakehurst had the capability to identify and take down unauthorized unmanned aerial systems. Yes, they do, and they're doing nothing. Most of the drones have been spotted along the coastal areas, and some were recently reported flying near a large reservoir in Clinton. Sightings have been reported in neighboring states. Yeah, all they have to do is drop anthrax or whatever into the reservoir and contaminate all that water. So going into more about these drones used by terrorist organizations for reconnaissance, ISIS have reportedly used UAVs in Raqqa in northern Syria to fly past potential targets in an effort to gather intelligence. UAVs have been used by protesters to deliver radioactive material to a Japanese government building in April of 2015. In April of 2015, an UAV with traces of radioactive material landed on the roof of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's office, according to the Kyodo News Agency. Supposedly, it was part of a protest against the country's nuclear energy policy. UAVs can also be used for hacking. They can hack into homes' Wi-Fi, corporate printers, their computers, etc. You know, the smaller drones, the ones you probably can buy in the store, they can fly close to the home's Wi-Fi routers or corporate printers that are using Wi-Fi enabled, Once in range, they attempt to compromise the device and use them for malicious purposes. Different types of UAV controls, such as Bluetooth. Now, Bluetooth are short range up to 20 meters with a limited flight time, and are generally classified as a toy category of UAVs. Wi-Fi type UAVs, again, they have a short range up to 50 meters with a limited flight time, and are also classified as a toy. Radio controlled, RF. These operate on a various frequency, 900 millihertz, 1.3 gigahertz, 2.4 gigahertz, and 5.8 gigahertz. The majority of commercially available UAVs operate within the 2.4 gigahertz, and some use both at the same time to enable flight control and live video playback. All ranges have various pros and cons. Reception range is dependent on the number of factors, including power, interference, obstacles, etc. 3 gig and 4 gig long range, and they usually have internet-based communications. The maximum range is only limited by the UAV's endurance, power source for flight, and available mobile carrier signal. Or they can be controlled by satellite, long range. The maximum range is only limited by the UAV endurance. Or they can be controlled by using GPS, autonomous control. The UAV creates an upload flight plan, which is executed by the UAV GPS, so pre-programmed flight plan. The maximum range is only limited by the UAV endurance. Or if they can map out the terrain, through autonomous control, the UAV operator creates and uploads a flight plan, which is executed by the UAV by following terrain controls and what they call clutter, buildings and other above-ground structures, such as trees and whatever. The maximum range is only limited by the UAV endurance. So this is only a suggestion. I was looking at the images of the different UAVs. Some were saying they're as large as an SUV. Well, in December 2011, it was reported that the Air Force had ordered and deployed what they called the Avenger, and it was deployed into Afghanistan. With the Taliban takeover in Afghanistan in 2021, the U.S. had lost access to air bases inside the country that were necessary for striking targets in neighboring Pakistan. Due to the long distances from potential targets, General Atomics had pitched that the Avenger drone to the Central Intelligence Agency as a better drone for the mission. The jet-powered Avenger can fly 1,800 miles or 2,900 kilometers from its operating base and stay airborne for 18 hours. On October 27th of 2016, General Atomics flew an extended range Avenger featuring wings extended by 3.2 meters or 10 feet to as wide as 76 feet. The extended wings added 1,000 kilotons or 2,200 pounds of fuel, totaling 10,100 pounds, extending endurance from 15 hours to 20 hours. But doing that reduced the internal payload to 3,000 pounds. So it was just my thought that the Avenger drone could be one type of drone, because it was used and lost in Afghanistan, that the Iranians might be using, flying off of this vessel that they have off the East Coast. So what are your thoughts? Yeah, I think it's some foreign government flying drones and doing reconnaissance. And we're not doing anything about it. We're allowing it. And we're putting the safety of our country, in a big, big threat. So what are your thoughts? Yeah, they're keeping it all hush-hush because they don't want the American people to have an uproar about this. Please put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please share. Once again, thank you very much for your support. Always be prepared for a disaster. The U.S. ain't going to tell you if something's going to happen really soon. Like I said, the examples of 9/11, Pearl Harbor, etc. Yeah, stay prepared. Keep on watch. And I'll talk to you later. God bless y'all. Bye.